The New Ulm Farm City Hub Club honors a Service to Agriculture Award winner every year, and the 2020 recipient is Arlene Klingler of New Ulm. We'll meet Arlene, talk about her growing up and her past and her fun times with her husband Stanley, and also involvement with the Hub Club and more. Stay tuned. This is your Service to Agriculture interview coming up on KNUJ in a moment.
3M of New Ulm would like to congratulate one of their own, Arlene Klingler, for receiving the Service to Agriculture Award. Arlene was a faithful and hard worker at 3M for over 28 years before deciding to retire. At 3M, people like Arlene have always been their greatest asset. Her passion to volunteer when and wherever needed is what has truly warranted her for this great achievement. We're proud of you, Arlene. Congratulations from everyone at 3M.
How many businesses can say they have been providing quality service for 4 generations? Searles Well Drilling, rural New Ulm can. Generations of southern Minnesotans have looked to Searles Well Drilling for their complete water systems needs. Be it farm, home, or municipal, Searles Well Drilling gives you the benefit of lifelong well drilling experience and septic system service. Fully insured, and the equipment to provide fast, efficient service. Call Searles Well Drilling, rural New Ulm, 354-8633.
Arlene Klingler joins us for our Service to Agriculture interview that we do, and we feature this every year and have for, I think, as long as this award has been given away in New Ulm. Arlene is with us right now. We're doing it right from the house, and Arlene, appreciate your time. Okay, so first of all, when did you find out you got the award? Where did it happen? And what did you say, and how did you feel?
I don't even remember the date, and I was ready to go to work at 4:30. 3 minutes I would have been away from the house, but I heard some ding-dong, and my doorbell rang, and I came back, and I opened the door, and I said, "No, go away. I don't need this." And I didn't want it. I was kind of mad. Really mad.
Okay, fair enough. We'll get more to the award a little bit later on and things. Let's talk about your background. You grew up just outside of town. Where you grew up?
West of St. George.
Yeah.
West of St. George I grew up. And then I met Stanley, and he lived east of St. George. And we got married, and we lived on the farm place, on his farm place then.
All right. How many children?
4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. Okay. The boy is in New Ulm, and a daughter is in New Ulm, and one daughter is married and is in North Carolina, has 2 children and 1 great-grandchild there. And the other daughter is in Kansas, Emporia, Kansas. She's married, and they don't have any children, though.
Your children's names, we should mention them.
Oh. Bonnie Yoder, Pat Carlson, Betty Wire, and Tom Klingler.
All right, and again, a family of 4. So you got them all there, right?
I got them.
Almost forgot one. I think she thought. And so, how many grandchildren?
We got 7 grandchildren and 8 great grandchildren, and 1 on the way.
Wow.
Maybe now in January yet.
So when you were growing up west of St. George, I think you said, how many children, how large was your family? A little bit about what it was like growing up.
Well, we were farming with my dad and my mother, and we were 7 children. I was the second oldest, so I had to go outside and help with the farm work. Harness up the horses. By then we had horses, and I went to school in St. George with horse and buggy. Picked up the neighbor, and in St. George there was a barn that I could put the horse in, and I had to harness it and harness it up again, and we went to school there with lunch pails, and always in fall. It had to be pretty cold before my dad would take us. So, and our lunch buckets would freeze because it would be back in the buggy. And my apples were always brown. I didn't know why, until I asked one of the girls that was beside me. I says, "How come your apple is white and mine is brown?" We figured it out. It was frozen. I ate it. It was good.
A story from the past. Okay. So how did you and Stanley meet?
At Searles Searles Pavilion. At dances, we always went, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and Searles Pavilion, that was right in town. Of course, that's not there now anymore.
Now, I don't know what's there now.
Yeah.
But we went to like Klausner House and George's. That was a big thing. Gibbon Ballroom all the time, yeah. We did a lot of dancing.
So, do you remember who the band was playing at Searles that night when you and Stanley met?
No, I don't. I wasn't interested in the band anymore.
Okay, that's a good statement. Okay, so you farmed for a number of years, and we'll talk to, I know you moved to town and so forth. Tell me about the farming operation that you and Stanley had.
Well, it was only a little over, we always called it a garden size farming that we did. And the machinery kind of wore out, so then we wanted to get a new tractor, so then he said I should go to work. So I went to Tropicana first, and then I went to 3M for 28 years, and we had 2 new tractors after that. I didn't dare quit. And by then, the kids were growing up and they could be by themselves, and then Stanley started tending bar too at night. And we just did a lot of saving, and we never spent any money unless we had it.
That was customary back then. You know, if you didn't have the money, you didn't spend it and so forth. Arlene Klingler is our guest, the Service to Agriculture Award winner this year for the New Ulm Farm City Hub Club. Tropicana Club. Okay, that was on the south end of New Ulm, right? What did you do there?
It was waitress. And I know and it was always on Saturday and Sunday nights, it was late. And one night on the way home, a car followed me all the way to Klausner. And I thought it was going to turn off, but it followed me. So then I drove into one of the farmer's yard and just made a U-turn. And it stayed at the end of the driveway. So then I finally came back out again because I didn't want to wake up the farmer. And then I drove into my driveway, and then he passed. So then I told Clarence Marchinka, was the owner of it, that I was going to quit tending bar or being waitress and helping, because I was scared. And he says, oh, get an old hat, an old felt hat, and put it on the way home. And you'll be just fine. Nobody will ever follow you. They'll think it's an old man. So underneath my seat in the car, I had an old hat. And when I left the Tropicana, I put that on. And I never was afraid. Never.
I'll tell you, these stories are precious. Arlene Klingler's with us. So you had a smaller farm, 109 acres. You milked. What'd you have for livestock or poultry?
Pigs, and we had chickens. We even had a hatching flock. Okay. We had roosters in there, and then we had to sell the eggs to raiders. We had to clean them by hand, sell them to raiders, and we had ducks. And and then I had a bad habit. When I started at 3M. I started picking night crawlers at night because I had to unwind when I got home. So I went underneath the yard light post and I saw all these night crawlers. So I picked them and I threw them. We had bandy chickens in the barn. And I gave them to the chickens in the morning. And then somebody said, well, why are you doing that? Why don't you sell them? So then we put a sign down by the road and I sold night crawlers. 5 cents a dozen. And I kept them in the pit. We called it the slop house. There was a pit where the water was in or something, and we hung them in a pail in there. And and then finally I could have a refrigerator out there. And I had self-service. People could come and get what they wanted to. And then I even hauled some to thousands to Winthrop, to a bait shop, and then down to Norwood. Stanley and I always laughed. If we'd have an accident, with all the worms would be crawling around us. But we never did. We never had an accident. We just enjoyed our money back home again.
Nice little side income that you had.
Yes.
Tell you what, we'll talk a little more with Arlene. We'll take a time out right now. Time to go get a cup of coffee and be ready, because we'll come back. Some fantastic memories we're sharing here that are shared by Arlene Klingler, this year's Service to Agriculture Award winner by the New Ulm Farm City Hub Club. Stay tuned. We're back right after this. And we're back once again from the Arlene Klingler home. Her and her husband Stanley here for many years. Stanley passed away a few years back, but Arlene named this year's Service to Ag Award winner. Well, we talked a lot about the past, and I know you talked about working at Tropicana, but let's talk about you guys. You and Stanley moved to town, and then you started working at 3M and such too, right?
That was when we were still on the farm. I worked at 3M. We moved to town in 2009. Yes,
Yeah.
That's when we moved to town, because he couldn't anymore. He had fallen at a play in St. George once on the ice in 2008. And from then on, he was handicapped, kind of. And there was so much to do on the farm that I always had to be painting, or he'd say, where are you going to be working today? And I said, oh, in the chicken barn. And then I'd be in the barn. And he just got tired of that, so he said, now I think it's time to go to town.
Okay.
So we bought this house then, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the house.
Great. How many years did you work at 3M?
28. I retired in 1903.
Okay.
1993.
There we go. Retired in 1993. Yeah. So a fair number of years ago. When did you and Stanley first get involved with the Farm City Hub Club?
Can't remember really the date. What did you say?
Well, was it around 95 or so, something like that?
That's right. It was after I quit 3M. Then we could go a little bit more. Otherwise, at 3M, was working weekends. I'd take all the overtime. That's right. So then that's when we could go together some places.
Yeah. All right.
And then we played cards with a couple, and he always talked about the Hub Club, and then we said, okay, we'll join.
Who was that couple?
Mary Jane and Linus Bernig. Linus is deceased too already now.
And so that's how you got started. What kind of things have you done with the Hub Club? I know that you've helped with getting potato salad ready, things like that. What kind of things have you helped with the Hub Club over the years?
That was out of town.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, where they had
Farm Fest?
Farm Fest. That it was on a different place first, and then on the other place there we drove up all the time too. Yeah, we helped on the counter with the plates and serving hamburger and all that stuff. Yeah, usually once in a weekend we would help.
I've heard about either potato salad or salad dressing. You've helped with that?
Yes, we made a lot of potato salad. Stanley and I made the dressing for the potato salad, 19 batches, in fact. And we had a down pat. If somebody would come and talk to us, we'd make a mistake. There would be a mistake for sure. But everybody makes mistakes as far as that goes.
You had a duty in making potato salad, and so did Stanley. What did he have to do?
He just always had to stir the kettles and be quiet, not talk to me. He never said, you put that in already, or did you? Because he knew that would throw me off, so he was quiet. He just sat there on the stool, and he knew just how to... And then we had to add the cornstarch to the vinegar and sugar, and then he knew he had to stand up and stir again. And when it was done, he turned the burner off, and I'd empty the kettle again, and we'd start another batch, another 5 kettles.
You had a system, and you had to stay focused. You couldn't be interrupted, right?
Exactly. No foolishness. All business.
Are you still helping do salad or salad dressing now?
Yes, I did this last year again myself, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know you do some work now. You've got some jobs that you have. Tell us about what you do.
Well, I clean houses and I clean businesses. A couple of them I have to go at 5 o'clock at night, and one is early in the morning. And at the houses, well, it's usually 8 o'clock. I never work, well, I don't say never in the afternoon. Some of them is 1:30, 2 o'clock. And now I even took one for Saturday, every other Saturday. This is enough, though, I said. I got to learn that no word. So.
Well, you keep pretty busy for a lady of 60 years old, you know that?
That's right. I'm 60.
Well, we'll go with that anyway.
Yes.
But so you enjoy staying busy, though, because it sounds like you really keep busy.
I do. There are once in a while on a Monday, because most of my houses are every other week, and there's a couple of them that is every third week. And then I have Monday or Tuesday off, and I get up in the morning and I walk around and I think, if this is what I have to do, nothing to go for, I might as well go where Stanley is. And no, I need to be kept busy.
Do you have any hobbies? Sewing or anything like
Yes,
that? What do you do?
I embroider, and I've got my table set up already and a puzzle box on it, but I didn't dare open the puzzle box because that's addicting. I have to set a timer, otherwise I'm just in there all the time. I have to set a timer for 15 minutes, and then I got to work 15 minutes in my house, and then I can go back. Yeah, and in summer I do my lawn mowing. I shovel my own snow. I usually do it 3 times. I go out at night before I go to bed, and then 5:30 I'm out there again, and after the plow goes, I do it again, and I got a big yard to take care of in summer, a lot of flowers. Bad habits.
You keep busy. Your place looks very, very nice. Arlene, appreciate it. Again, you've got a very special day coming up from the Hub Club here later this month, and that'll be kind of fun for you. Going to have some family here for that?
Yeah. I don't know for sure yet. The ones in North Carolina, they always said, don't you and Dad die in winter, because they're not coming for the funeral. So this is in March. So I told them, don't come. Come in summer when we can enjoy things. They came once in winter, and I had so many winter clothes, and it was so cold and windy that time, so they said they'll never come again. And Stanley lucked out. He died in June, so it was hot then. But that was good. And my daughter Bonnie has arthritis in her legs quite a bit, so the weather, cold, is hard on her. So, and Pat just was up here for Christmas for 2 weeks, and she said she's not going to be turning around and coming back up again. So,
well, you have conflicts. You can't always be everywhere all the time. Yep.
That's right. Oh, I said March, but it's in January, the big deal.
Yep. It'll be a lot of fun for you, and it will be a big deal. Maybe bigger than when they came and surprised you here and told you were getting the award.
You know, that night when they surprised me, I first got out of the tax place by Carlson's at 11:30, because every once in a while I just had to stop and cry. I thought, why did they pick on me? There's other people out there. I thought I'd never get out of that place. Otherwise, it only takes 5 hours or something like that. That night, I just didn't get done. And I didn't even want to go home anymore. I just didn't. It was a hard night.
Arlene, you've been a fantastic volunteer for the Hub Club over the years, and I know they really took pride in giving you this award, so congratulations once again. And thanks for letting me come into your home and share some of these stories about all the things you guys did and how you and Stanley met and all the things on the farm. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, and I'm also in the play in St. George again this year.
That's in March, I bet.
Yes, that's March 14th and the 21st and the 22nd, a matinee on Saturday. That's right.
What part or role or things do you do?
Just an old grandma. That's me.
Well, they're going to have to dress you up so you look older then, right?
They can't dress me up. There isn't too much of me left.
Arlene Klingler, our guest, this year's Service to Agriculture winner here from the Farm City Hub Club of New Ulm. Arlene, congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Coming your way from the Klingler home, Jim Bartles here for 860 KNUJ and 97.3 FM.